Welcome home, where we provide information, inspiration, and motivator after motivator after motivator here on America's Next. I have Kent Osborne here with me today. Kent did whatever he could to make sure he was here with the people, whether he had to sit out in the park on his phone or anything else he had to do, and I appreciate that. How you doing today, Kent? I can't hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, as Kent gets it together with his audio, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Get other people into the building because we're definitely in for a good story with a great person here today. But Kent, if you follow him after this interview, you'll see he has 4 or 5 different gadgets that he's always using because he's so busy. And so right now he's trying to figure out his gadgets right now. Can't hear you. I wish I could tell him it's probably one of the Bluetooth functions out there. But you guys hang in there because Kent Osborne, he has a great story. Even if he has to leave and come back, you guys hang right. You guys stick in there with us. So he's gonna leave and come back. How you doing, Ma? How you doing, Ani? Love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. And for all our other viewers out there, I appreciate you stopping by for another episode of America's Next Motivator. I'm still looking for your comments and recommendations in terms of a midway segment that we'll do to kind of add a couple more pivotal moments to the show. Of course, one day I'd like to see this show on a big network like ABC, NBC, or what have you. And in order to do that, I need you to show up every single time. Thanks for being here.
Can you hear me? Is it working now?
Yep. I hear you, Kent.
All right, good. Yes.
Yeah. It's time to rock and roll.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
How you doing today?
Man, I'm blessed. I thank God for waking me up this morning and starting me on my way. Your big bro, KO. Listen, I'm up here in Michigan, right? I'm working right now, but I took the time out to get on here and talk to my supporters, man, and try to motivate and inspire somebody today. What's going on?
Hey, where you from, Kent?
I'm from Florida. I'm from Melbourne, Florida, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Actually, Stockbridge, which is 15 minutes outside of Atlanta. So it's Metro Atlanta.
What was your life like growing up?
Man, my life growing up, man, woo. Lost my dad at 5 years old. I lost my mom when I was 9 years old. I had to go live with my aunt until I was 14 years old. My aunt and I, we couldn't get along. So I ran away from my aunt's house at 14 years old, and I got into the streets. And I started hanging around all these knuckleheads, guys that didn't want nothing out of life. And listen to me, the people you hang around plays a major important part in your life. If you hang around losers, you will become a loser. If you hang around winners, you'll become a winner. I started hanging around all these losers, and my life started going downhill. I started snatching purses. I started robbing. I started stealing. I dropped out of high school, started using and abusing drugs, was in and out of jail, and found myself in prison for the first time in my life at 19 years old. Did 2 years, got back out into the streets, started selling drugs, became a big-time drug dealer. I started performing with all these major artists, from Lil Wayne, opening up for Lil Wayne, opening up for Juvenile, doing songs with Pastor Troy, songs with Field Mob. But I was still selling drugs at the same time, trying to take that money and invest it into the music business so I can make it out of the music business. Like I seen artists do in the past. Like I seen Master P do it. Like I seen Baby and Slim from the Hot Boys do it. I was trying to make it out, but everybody ain't gonna make it out like that. And I ended up getting popped in 2007 and finding myself in prison for the second time in my life. And that's why I changed my life and gave my life to Christ after God told me, Kent, listen, you want to be successful? You need to give your life to Christ. And that's when I did that, man, and the rest is history.
I like your energy, Kent. I like people who have a soul and a spirit like yours that's really ready to get out there and do something in the world. I love it. And I'm looking forward to a couple raps from you by the end of this episode as well, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I'll kick a little something.
Okay, yeah. Toward the end, let's say we can get a couple raps from you, but I want to take it back a little bit. We have about an hour to talk today, and I want to give our viewers an understanding of how exactly it is that you got to where you are today. And we do that by talking about your early years, your middle years, and your adult years. So I want you to talk to me a little about what your elementary school years were like.
Well, my elementary school years was kind of good because my parents was around in elementary, right? So I'm thinking around the time I lost my mom, it was about third grade. So anywhere from kindergarten to third grade, man, was awesome. You know, I made A's and B's in school, never got in any trouble. Even after my mom passed and having to go live with my aunt, I still, was good in school. I remember being in school.
When did your mom pass away?
My mom passed in 1989.
Okay. And may I ask what the conditions were around her passing?
Well, she died in a car accident.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so yeah, but even after she passed and living with my aunt, I still was good in school. I used to be the morning announcer. Like when people come to school and they got to look at the TV, I was on the one that was on the screen announcing everything in the morning. So I had a good elementary school year.
Yeah, I can tell. You definitely sound like a morning announcer.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
For sure. Now, where was your father at during this time?
Well, my father, he passed before my mom passed. So he passed in like 1985, so he was deceased too.
Okay. But your family didn't let you go into the foster care system. They took you in.
Yes, they didn't let me go. They took me in. My aunt took me in. I thank her for that every day. Me and my aunt, we get along right now, but back then we didn't get along. I had just lost my parents, and we just couldn't get along. But we cool now.
How old were you when you moved with your auntie?
I was 9 years old.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And at 9 years old, it seems like even though you might have been living down south, you was kind of already thinking about living a fast lifestyle, even at 9 years old.
Well, not at 9 years old, I wasn't thinking about living a fast lifestyle. That didn't come till I was 14 years old that I wanted to start living a fast lifestyle. Because even with my aunt, I played football. I was good in football. Going to school playing football. I played running back and linebacker when I played football, like for the youth, amateur. I never came off the field. And listen, I believe, man, if I would have had the right mentorship, I would have had the right support, man, I would have been in the NFL, probably retired right now from the NFL. Wow. That's just how good I was. I just didn't have the right mentorship. And that's why I know that mentorship is very important to our youth. That's why I'm a mentor myself, because I know how important it is. I know if I would have had that, I would have came out much better than I was.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have 2 brothers, don't have any sisters.
Okay, and they're older than you or younger than you?
I have one older than me and I got one younger than me.
Okay. So at the age of 9 years old, you went to live with your auntie. Did they come with you?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And at that time, was there still a father in the home or not? Well, at that time, was there still a father in the home or not when you moved with your auntie? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. So he's gonna leave and come back. But as you guys can see, this man's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of energy, and that's a good thing. He's one of the types of people who can actually, at any age, get a hold of the youth and get a hold of even the elders' ear. Let's see if we have him back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay, okay. I was asking you if you had a father in the home when you moved with your auntie, you and your brothers.
When I moved with my aunt, there was my uncle was there, but he was like real quiet, you know, and my auntie kind of ran everything, so he wasn't a father figure because he was real quiet.
Okay, yeah, I asked that because at some point, you needed a level of mentorship that was not at home, and it sounds like that led to you looking for affiliations out in the streets at some point.
Yes, yes, yes. That's
Okay.
right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was looking for it out in the streets because I didn't have it at home. You know, like I
Right.
said, if my uncle would have been, you know, more supportive and more talkative, he could have been a good mentor, but he wasn't. My auntie ran everything.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you something. What is it that you were looking for in the streets?
Well, in the streets, I was looking for love. I was looking for someone to have my back, someone to care, and leadership. And I was trying to look up to somebody. So I didn't have that. So that's what I was
And,
looking for in the street.
and when you got out there and you thought that you met somebody who was going to be that person that could provide a positive connection for you, what did you actually get from that person?
Well, actually, what I got from that person was a lot of trouble.
Okay.
End up
Yeah.
getting on drugs, going to jail, dropping out of high school. Nothing
When you
good.
say when you say you ended up getting on drugs, what age did you start getting on drugs, and what type of drugs are we talking about?
I was at the age of 15 and 16. I was popping pills and snorting powder.
Oh, wow. So let me get this straight. At the age of 15, you were looking for a positive connection out in the streets. You were looking for brotherhood. You were looking for
Yep.
fellowship. And instead of getting that, what you got was an opportunity to pop pills and snort powder.
Yes, that's what I got out of it.
How did you deal with it? How did your 15-year-old body deal with snorting powder and popping pills?
I just lived it every day, one day at a time. You know, it was just like regular life, just living life. My friends was doing it, you know, so the people that I was around, we was doing it. So it was just living everyday life.
Right. This is one thing that I would like to tell the public today is that your teenager is a very powerful individual. If Kent here was able to be out in the streets popping pills and snorting powder, and what type of powder was this?
Just regular powder cocaine.
Okay. If this 15-year-old could be out in the streets popping pills and snorting cocaine, he could have also been running a business at 15.
Yep.
He could have been preparing to go to a high-level athletic commission at the age of 15.
Yep.
He could have been helping you to create a positive reality for the next generation of your family at 15.
Yep.
And so I want all of us to unite in the realization that a teenager is a very powerful individual. A teenager is not a baby. A teenager has power of life in his or her body, and a teenager can contribute very, very, very much so to the family and to the community. And so, Kent, I want to know what other sorts of things came along with this lifestyle. So you're doing drugs. Were you also getting involved in crime?
Oh yeah. I got into a lot of crime, man. I was snatching purses, you know, to make money to provide. We were stealing cars, man. We would steal cars and drive them to school. Just before I dropped out.
How did you learn how to steal a car?
From a friend. A friend taught me. That's why I said the people you hang around plays a major important part in your life. So that has a lot to do with the people that you hang around. Because guess what? If I'd have been hanging around some positive people that was going to school, getting their education, and wanted something out of life, I wouldn't have learned how to steal cars. But because I was hanging around people that didn't want anything out of life, I learned how to steal cars. So that's why I say the people you hang around play a major important part in your life. It's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of success and failure.
Do you think that you could have picked positive people to hang around? Or was it something that kind of just like, you were just swayed in the wrong direction, so to speak?
Yeah, I could have picked positive people, but like you said, I was swayed in the wrong direction. Like I didn't have any positive people around me to pick. The neighborhood I came up out of, most everybody was doing wrong that I knew. So I didn't know any positive people.
If you could go back if you could go back to being a 15-year-old, and at 15 you should be in the 10th grade. Were you in the 10th grade at 15?
I was in the ninth grade.
Okay, ninth grade, same thing
Yep.
almost.
Yep.
If you could go back to the ninth grade, what would you do differently?
Well, if I could go back to the ninth grade, the first thing I would have did different was stayed my behind in school, and I would have got around the right people, and I would have made the right choices. So them three things right there, made the right choices, because that's important. I would have got around the right person, like mentorship, the right people in school, not people that want to do wrong and do things like that. And I would have stayed in school, because education is the key. Knowledge is power.
I want you to take about 30 seconds, and I want you to talk to our ninth graders across the world right now. We got ninth graders right now who are proclaiming that they want to be a positive person when they be an adult, but they're getting bullied by other ninth graders who don't want to be a positive person when they become an adult. And then you have ninth graders out there who they already popping pills and snorting powder. I want you to take a minute and talk to the 15-year-olds out there who need to hear a word from you.
Listen to me. Take it from me, your big bro KO. Make sure y'all get around the right people. Cause listen, if y'all around somebody that's telling y'all to do negative stuff, they trying to get y'all to fail. They gonna fail. You're gonna end up in prison, or you're gonna end up dead. So make sure that you get around the right people. Get around good mentors, people that want to be successful in life. And make sure that you stay in school, man. Listen to me. Knowledge is power, right? Education is the key. I dropped out of school. It was hard for me. I'm successful now and I dropped out of school, but I made life hard for me by dropping out of school. If I could go back and do it right now, I would have made sure I stayed in school, because education is the key. Listen, I still had to go back to some kind of school to do what I'm doing right now. It maybe wasn't a junior high or a high school or nothing like that, but I still had to go back and get education to be educated in the field that I'm in. So education is power. Knowledge is power. So make sure you stay in school and make sure you get your education and make sure you get around the right people. That is very important. If you don't have anybody that's positive in your life, man, they got mentorship programs. See if your mom can get you in a mentorship program. Like I have a mentorship program right now, Prison to Power, and we actually working on getting a building. So just get with a mentorship program, a Big Brothers Club or something like that. Do not hang around with these negative people.
Right. And how old were you when you stopped playing football?
I was 12 years old when I started playing football, youth football.
Okay. Wow. All right. Now, when you started hanging with these people, was it fun? Did it feel good when you were out there snatching purses and doing crime? Did it feel good?
Oh yeah, it felt real good. I felt at home. Felt like
Yeah.
this is the thing to be.
Right.
Felt like I was cool. Bad.
Right.
I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be cool.
Mm-hmm. And how did you look at people who went to work every day, might be wearing a suit and tie, or authorities? How did you all look at authorities at that time?
Well, a lot of time we looked at it as an opportunity, because like we said, we were breaking in houses and robbing and stealing. So hey, you got on a suit and tie, you might have some money. We might can get something about you.
Wow. Okay. Now, when did you start? What was it that triggered your mind to say, hey, I need to change my lifestyle. I'm not doing the right thing out here. Because I'm sure that the drugs felt good to you. You were good friends with all of the people who had respect in the neighborhood. From your perspective, you have good friends with them. Obviously nobody was running down on you, telling you that you needed to change your life around and you was messing up. So what was it that created this mental shift for you?
All right, so what created the mental shift is when I went to prison in 2007, and I ended up giving my life to Christ after the guy told me, Kent, listen, you want to be successful, bro? You need to give your life to God. And he said, I'm telling you, man, anything that you want out of life, it can happen for you. Because I always wanted to be a Christian rapper. I always wanted to be a rapper, right? A secular rapper. But when the guy told me that God can do it for me, and I was thinking like, man, you telling me if I change my life and change my music that God will allow me to be successful? And the guy was like, yes, if you give your life to God, you can be successful. He said, just come to church with me, bro. So I started going to church with the guy and just started, read my Bible and stuff like that. So, as I started learning the Bible, I would write Christian rap. get lyrics out, get the words out the Bible and put it in the Christian rap. And then over here, I would write negative music that's promoting violence, sex, and drugs and guns. But the more and more I kept going to church and prison, I started building this personal relationship with Christ. So it got to the point when I would write this negative music, I didn't want to write that negative music no more because I knew that music was hurting God and it was going against everything that God wanted. And I know that God is love. So I started writing all that negative music and I just started writing music geared towards God. And I remember performing in prison, and I remember some people coming and telling me, some prophets saying, Kent, we see that you traveling all over the world. We see you traveling all over the world, reaching kids through your music. And it made me want to keep going, and I gave my life to Christ, in prison, and here I am now. So that mental shift happened when I was in prison.
And so it sounds like the correctional institution actually was a place where you could take a deep breath, clean your mind up, clean your body up, and actually get a new start.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the second time, you remember I went twice. That
Okay.
the first time when I was 19 years old, that's when I really needed to be in prison. Then I was happy to be in prison that first time when I was 19 years old.
Talk about that.
And
why were you happy to be in prison?
The reason I was happy the first time because my body was tired, man, because I had been snorting powder, I had been smoking weed, I had been drinking and running the streets, robbing, stealing, all that crazy stuff. So it was like my body was tired. It's like I needed that vacation. I needed that break. So I remember and it's in my book, my Prison to Power book. I talk about all that. I remember going to prison and, when I'm getting to prison, I laid in the bed and it was just like a sigh of relief. I just laid back and was like, oh. It just felt so good. I know it might sound crazy, but it just felt so good to be locked away from the street so I can get that break. But my mindset hadn't changed, right? It was just I needed the break, but my mindset hadn't changed because I still got out and got back into the streets and started selling drugs. I stopped doing all that crazy stuff, the robbing, the stealing, the snorting powder. I stopped doing all that. I just got out the first time and became a big time drug dealer. I started, like I said, started taking my money and started invested into the music and started opening up for Lil Wayne, Juvenile. See, at that time, I was just a big time drug dealer. I wasn't doing none of that crazy stuff I was doing as a juvenile, and I was doing my music.
So it sounds like earlier on, and because you're a faith-based man, I'm going to talk to you from a faith-based perspective tonight. Okay. It sounds like the devil had you right where he wanted you early in your life, and he was suffocating you. He was suffocating you with the drugs, and every time you would take one step, the devil would take two. And you were doing drugs, and I'm sure you were probably doing some drinking. You were snatching purses, and you was living a lifestyle that was providing a false sense of high off life.
Yep.
And so when you went to jail, your body became more clean, but your spirit was in a relationship with the devil, and that you were still wanting those endorphins from this relationship that you had with the devil, and you were not a believer in God's side yet. So you had to get back out there and learn. But when you got back out there, you said, no. You said when you got back out there, oh, I'm really ready to be a rapper now, huh? So, yeah, because you cleaned your body up. Yeah. You said, oh, I could stand up straight and perform now. Where Juvenile at? How did you actually connect with these people?
Well, actually, I had a manager at the time, and the manager name was Tim. So he knew a lot of people. So that's how I was able to connect with these people from my manager.
Okay, how do you get a manager? I know it's a lot of rappers out there. They looking for a manager, can't find one. How did you get a manager?
Well, actually, he seen me performing, and I hadn't did a music video like that I paid for myself. Like in my city, I was like one of the first ones to ever do a music video, and this was a while ago, years ago. And he seen the video, and he stepped to me and wanted to manage me.
Wow, who shot the video?
One of my guys up in Baltimore. I can't think of the production company name at the moment.
Okay. All right. And then I also want to know, because I always like to ask people who are of the Christian faith, what's your favorite scripture in the Bible?
Ooh, yes, sir. My favorite scripture Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. And see, that's what that guy was telling me when I was in prison. He was telling me to seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. When he was telling me to come to church with him, he said, Kent, listen. He said, bro, I'm telling you, if you give your life to Christ, anything that you want out of life, it can happen for you. And that was that scripture he was telling me about. Matthew 6:33.
Matthew 6:33. Okay. And so, and how do you think that people who have been in prison can make an impact in the congregation, in the church? Like, do you see somebody who's been to prison as somebody who could do more than just sit in the rows of the church?
Oh yeah. I think because they have a testimony. We overcome from our testimonies. So somebody that had been to prison that made the mistakes, and now they on God's side, they can share their testimony and let somebody else that's out there that's going through the same things hear their story and be like, man, if that guy made it through, I can make it through it. If God did it for him, he can do it for me.
And then I also want to know, what is your perspective on respect? Given your life before and during prison, you dealt with survival through respect. Is that correct?
Yes.
I think that our communities across the world right now, we need to have a conversation about respect and what respect is, so that we can have an idea of what it is people are looking for. Can you talk to us today about what respect means to you?
Well, respect means to me is like this. As I would say, it's an old saying that Martin Luther King used to say, like, you judge a person by their character, right, and not by the color of their skin. So just judge a person by their character, how they carry themselves, what they are doing in life. Don't judge them by how they look, because people think, I still got goals in my mouth. They coming out though. They coming out soon. I had 16 of them. I got most of them out. So a person might look at me and judge me by how I look. But I always tell people it's not what's on the outside. It's about what's in the inside, because I have God right here. So never judge a person by what's on the outside. Judge a person by what's in the inside. And you can tell, we always say real recognize real on the street. And when we say real recognize real, you can tell a person from when they open their mouth, how they talk. And you can tell if that person is a person that you want to deal with or not.
Right. Now, what is disrespect?
Disrespect is like somebody not respecting you, like talking to you all kind of way, putting you down, judging you. All that is disrespect. Don't judge nobody.
Right. Do you think anybody deserves to be disrespected?
I don't think nobody deserves to be disrespected. Even a dog demand respect. And like I tell people anyway, even a child, you know what I'm saying? You got these days right here, you got to respect the child, because if you want respect, you got to give respect. A child won't even deal with disrespect. Like, you go up to a 13 or a 14-year-old in the street, and because you grown, you trying to disrespect them, man, they might cuss you out. They might pull out a gun or anything and shoot you. So respect goes a long way. You got to respect everybody, man. I don't care who it is.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a great conversation with Kent Osborne, and this conversation is going to get deeper. I want you to stand by after a few seconds of a brief message, and we'll be right back at it. America's Next Motivator. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. America's Next Motivator. Sponsored by the Pride Empowerment Network, and of course, hosted by me, Cedric Riley. And we're back. Ken, how you feeling out there, sir?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm fired up. Really, I'm ready to get on back down to Florida, because I'm getting loaded up. When I leave here, I'm headed to Florida. I've been up all day, so I'm fired up right now. I'm feeling good on this interview.
Okay, absolutely. And we're getting ready to get into what you did with the latter half of your life. But first, I want us to unpack something for our viewers. I believe that young people in urban areas, what you might call the ghetto, are possessed. I think that they're possessed by a spirit of dysfunction, and they're possessed by a spirit of violence, and they are potentially possessed by a spirit of, crabs in a barrel, bringing each other down.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody does not make it out of that possession. Some people do.
Mm-hmm.
And you're one of the people who have. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. I agree. Totally with that. I agree 100%.
So a lot of our young people out there who might be in impoverished neighborhoods across America, they might be dealing with a certain level of possession. And when we look at them, it's not just about saying, oh, those are bad kids, or oh, those kids, can or cannot achieve. It's about understanding that those kids are potentially possessed by some, less than savory spirits. And so we need to do some spiritual work with these young people. Would you agree to that?
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that totally 100%. I make sure every time I talk to them, I add some spirituality into that along with my story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. Okay. So once you decided that you weren't going to be a rapper, a secular rapper, so to speak, what did you do next after that?
I set my sight on becoming a Christian rapper.
Wow.
I just had to figure out, once I got out, how to become, how to get to the top of becoming a Christian rapper, how to get to the top. That's why I tell anybody, once you have a goal, man, you have a vision, you know the vision, you know what the start is, you just got to figure out how to get there. And right. I had to figure out how to get there.
Absolutely. Kanye West recently came out with a Christian rap album.
Yep.
What'd you think about that?
I didn't really listen to it. I didn't listen to the album.
Not a big fan of Kanye West?
Nah, not really. No, I've never been a big fan of him. Even when he rapped, even when he rapped against 50 Cent back in the day.
You was on 50 Cent side.
Nah, I liked the 50 Cent till he came out with that second record, but I wasn't even on his side. He killed me with the second record.
Right. Okay, so you decided to be a Christian rapper. So, can we get a rap from you?
Yeah, let me see. Every day I hustle hard just to. No, not that one. Let me see. I'm going. I done took it back to way back.
Yeah, we here with you.
Y'all there with me? Y'all with me?
Yeah, we here with you, bro.
I went to prison once again in 2007. I'm a two-time loser, a convicted felon. The path that I chose led me to doing time. Because when you're living in sin, trouble ain't hard to find. Mama always told me you'll be dead or either in jail. I never understood what she meant until I failed. I can close to being dead people plenty time, but it was by the grace of God that I'm still alive.
You said you was close to being dead plenty times.
Yes.
How many times did you face a gun, Kent?
Well, I know one time when I said close to being dead, I had a cousin. We were staying in the house and somebody broke into our house. And they end up shooting. Me and my girl had just left. And they end up coming into the house and grabbing my cousin and his pregnant baby mama that stayed with us and had them on their knees execution style. And they end up shooting his girlfriend like 14 times, right? And asking her, like, where's the drugs? They telling her, she was telling them, the actual boyfriend was telling them that he don't know where the drugs at. So after they got done shooting her 14 times, they end up turning the gun on my cousin and shooting him twice in the face. But he ended up surviving. And telling the story. And I get a call from the police telling me I need to come home because they got to question me about it. So that's one way I escaped death, because I'm supposed to been there. But by the grace of God, I wasn't there. Because I believe God had a plan for my life. And Absolutely. If you read my book, From Prison to Power, the story is in the book.
Okay, I'm blown away. I'm blown away with the ease with which you tell these stories, which are very profound stories. And I know that you're not a politician, but you were a member of the society that runs around in the streets. And I want to ask you, what do you think it would take to get the guns out of our communities? Illegal guns.
I don't know, bro. I can't even answer that question. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if they're going to ever be able to get the illegal guns out.
Wow. And why not?
Because everybody got them, man. It's so easy to get a gun on the street, a hot gun on the street. You can go anywhere and purchase a gun. Like I don't know how they gonna get rid of all of them unless they bust everybody's house and go in there and grab them up out of there. But it's so easy to get a gun, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
How can we teach people about the value of life versus the value of the gun?
The value of life versus the value of a gun. I guess it's just teaching them like all the things that life has to offer, all the good things that life has to offer. Like life in itself. Being safe, being able to have a family, being able to work and provide for yourself, being able to start a business, being able to do what you want to do, live your dream. But when you're dealing with guns, man, you got to think about prison, you got to think about murder, dying, and like all kind of negative stuff comes with when you talking about a gun. Nothing but negativity comes with a gun. Like even if you got a gun to protect yourself and somebody break in your house and you shoot somebody, that person still died. So that's still negative. You protected yourself, but somebody still died. So having a gun don't have none but negativity around it.
And what's the name of your book? What's the name of your book?
The name of my book is called From Prison to Power. And it's on my website, www.kenosborne.com. And it's on Amazon.
Okay. All right. So you changed your life around, which I think is amazing. You put the work in, you change your life into an overall better thing. I mean, even right now today, when I called you, you were sitting on top of a truck, of a semi truck or a full truck. I'm not sure if it was semi or full, but you on a big rig these days. You driving trucks clear across America.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm on my own trucking company. That's a blessing. I got my own trucking company.
Talk about that.
Work right now with my own trucking company. You know what I'm saying?
That's incredible. How did you start your own trucking company?
Say it again.
How did you start your own trucking company?
I had a friend named Merv, and he told me about trucking. I used to see him all the time with his family and wife and kids, and I used to wonder like how he gets so much free time as a truck driver, because I was driving for a company and they wanted me on the road 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Okay. So he told me how to start my own trucking company so I can be able to do what I'm doing now.
Wow. I've heard a lot of people say, man, I'm not going to keep living my life like this. I'm going to go and get my CDLs. And then, 3-4 years go by and you run into them again and they still telling you, man, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go get my CDLs. You know anybody like that?
Man, I know a lot of people. People always talking, man, but when it's time to do, they don't do it. That's just like motivational speaking. You can stand up there and speak all day long and motivate people, but the reality is a lot of them ain't gonna do what you telling them to do.
What would you encourage somebody who wants to be a truck driver, somebody who wants to start their own trucking company? What advice could you give them today?
I would tell them to find a trucking school, man. Get online and find a trucking school. First, you want to go to the driver license place and get the book, study the book. And once you study the book, you get the restricts. Then take the restricts, man, and go to a trucking school and start off there. Cause they're gonna train you. They're gonna train you for a couple weeks. A couple weeks, 2 months, and then they're gonna put you out there on your own, and you're good to go after that.
Wow. Okay. And you've enjoyed being a trucker. What's the lifestyle like for you?
Well, the lifestyle is being on the road a lot, eating like you want, eating good, eating what you want to eat. It ain't a healthy lifestyle unless you're gonna get out there and work out. And I try to do that now myself, work out more. But you get to travel and see the world. I hadn't seen the world till I got in the truck, and I was stuck in Melbourne, Florida all that time. So I was able to see the world.
And what part of Florida are you saying? Are you saying Melbourne?
Yep, Melbourne.
How do you spell that?
Melbourne.
Wow, just like Melbourne, Australia.
Just like Melbourne, Australia. That's right.
Wow. Anybody ever called you Clark Kent?
Nah, ain't nobody never called me
that. I'm the first person to call you Clark Kent?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, that's funny. I want you to talk to us about how good it feels to be on a more positive side of life. You've been on the negative side and you said it felt good. How does it feel to be on the positive side of life?
Oh, man, it's a blessing. I'm married now. I wasn't married at the time. I ain't got to watch over my back. Just living life, just enjoying life, man.
So you would say that in this scenario, the grass is actually greener on the other side?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely green on the other side. Like I say, being married and not having to watch over your back, doing everything legal, that's the main thing, man. Not having to watch over your back. I know I keep saying that, but, man, that was stressful being out there. And when you out there in the street and you doing wrong, you driving, you got to keep looking back to make sure the police ain't pulling you because you riding illegal and riding dirty. But man, it's a blessing, man, to be able to enjoy life. Life is awesome. And to be able to do the work what I'm doing with, that God called me to do, to be able to motivate and inspire and work with the youth, mentor the youth, everything is good, man. And I know I'm going to be real busy soon with that. And I'm going to be giving up trucking, man, and just going into, mentoring and speaking full time. So I know that's coming soon.
Okay. What's your message when you go out to speak to young people?
My message is the people you hang around play a major important part in your life. What's your wake up call, and it's never too late.
I have a video clip that I pulled up of you, and I'm getting ready to play it for our viewers. Okay.
All right, yeah, go ahead and play. I'm gonna plug my phone in while you playing it.
Okay. The clip is only 1 minute, so you got about 60 seconds. All right.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to somebody who decided to change his life. He had a very, very traumatic life experience, and he put the work in to make his life into a better thing. And I think there's power in that. Check this video out.
Yo, what's up, family? It's your big bro, KO. Listen, I'm the CEO of Prison to Power nonprofit organization. And listen, I just came out with my new book, From Prison to Power. Basically, what Prison to Power is about, it's my story. It's my life of where I've been, what I've been through, and how I made it out of what I've been through. So if anybody out there is going through something, or you have been through something, or you know of someone that is going through something, listen, this book is for you, or this book is for them. Half of the proceeds will go towards helping us to complete our mission with saving our youth from prison to power. So make sure you go to the website, www.kenosborne.com, and help us to continue to save you. Listen, I'm your big bro. I'm KO.
So we just watched a promotional video. I thought that was great.
That was dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to us about your book. What did it take for you to write that book?
I had started writing that book a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I finished it when I went to Jamaica. And basically, I'm catching my breath a little bit. I was running to get back.
Okay.
All right, so basically, I just took my life. Everything that I've been through, and just put it in a book.
Right. Wow. And you said your book is available on Amazon.com, but some of the proceeds go somewhere else. Can you talk about that?
Some of the proceeds go towards my nonprofit organization.
Okay.
I have a nonprofit organization called From Prison to Power.
Okay.
So if I sell my book for $20, 10 of it goes towards the nonprofit organization, and 10 goes to Generation Changers.
Right. What's Generation Changers?
Generation Changers is my for-profit company. That's my music company where I take my music through my motivational speaking.
Okay.
So I got 3 companies.
So you got the trucking company.
Yep.
You got the book. You got it. Well, you got the nonprofit and you got the for-profit.
There you go. Yep.
Absolutely incredible. I think that's great. So I mean, what's next for you? Where do you go from here?
Oh man, what's next for me, man? I want to get into movies, right? I got my own production studio at the house where, I got all my stuff. I got cameras, got green screens. Like that right there, that video you just seen, I did that myself and was able to edit it. And but man, I want to get into doing short film that has messages for the youth, right? To get the message across. So it's going to be short films, 10 minutes, but I'm going to have youth to play parts in it because I'm trying to get a message across to them. So, and then from the short films into movies, I want to do a movie for my book, From Prison to Power. I actually want to do a movie to it.
That's incredible. So you're gonna do a movie about your life as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the goals on the list, to do a movie to that book, From Prison to Power.
Sure. What would you say is the number one takeaway from your book that people could acquire when they read your book? What are a couple of things people would take from it?
Well, for one, I would say, like, just me going through everything that I went through, getting in trouble and contact with the law and all the things like that. Like they used to always say you can learn a lot from a dummy. You used to ever heard that commercial back in the days?
Yes.
Right. So you can learn a lot from a dummy. And at the time, I was being a dummy. Right. So I wrote about all the dumb stuff I was doing. So I want you to learn from all that dumb stuff I was doing, like what could happen, the consequences behind what could happen for all the dumb stuff that I was doing. And a lot of the dumb stuff I was doing is what the youth are doing today. They just doing it a lot worse now. You know, so and then another takeaway is at the end of my book, it goes into me giving my life to Christ. Right. And it shows what I went through and how I made it out of what I went through. And how I made it out of what I went through is Christ. You know, so I talked about Christ. I talk about a couple scriptures in the end of the book. So them some takeaways in that book that you would get from my book.
Without a doubt. Like I said, I'm very, very, I'm actually kind of, it puts me in deep thought because I'm talking to somebody who, for me, you represent a decent percentage of people across America who need to change their life.
Yes.
And so I think that it's something inside your story for each and every person out there. And really look forward to conversations with you in the future and potential partnerships with you in the future.
Yes.
Because, I talk to people sometime and they say, well, I hear what you're saying, but I got to get out there. I got to get out there and bump my head myself. What do you think about that?
I think you don't gotta bump your head. Why would you want to bump your head when you got somebody already that bumped their head for you and they telling you if you go down this way, what's gonna happen? That's just like me telling you, hey man, if you go down that way, the bridge is out. Don't go down there. If you go down there, you're gonna go down there and fall off the bridge and kill yourself because the bridge is out. But then you say, man, I want to go down there myself and see if the bridge is out. And then you go down there and kill yourself when I already told you that the bridge was out. Why not listen to somebody that has been through something, or maybe somebody that they might have not been through something, but they know somebody that has been through something, and they're trying to tell you to keep you from making that same mistake. Kind of like my wife, her son, he got 25 years in prison, and her nephew got 15 years in prison, and they co-defendants. They was together, and they got all this time. And she used to tell him, she was a single parent raising 3 kids, and she used to tell him, but he didn't want to listen. He thought he knew everything, even though she hadn't been down that path. But she knew people that have been down that path, and he ended up getting bam.
Do we need to do something more than talk and speak to the youth? Do we need to do something more?
We need to do something more. We need to have more programs. It definitely need to be more programs to reduce the recidivism rates. Right? There need to be programs for kids that's actually the kind of program that I have right now, and that I'm putting together, working with somebody right now, is to help people that's getting out of prison. Right? They done went, but they getting out, or they've been on probation, they get out, to keep them from going back. Like, why keep bumping your head up against a brick wall when you see the blood gushing out your forehead and you continuously hit it? That's insane. They call that's insane. You know what I'm saying? Seems like you need to go to a shrink if you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. So yeah, there need to be more programs, man. More programs for the youth.
Is this a money problem? Does it change because you get $100,000?
What's that? You meant the
Does a recidivism change because you get money? So if some people say, I don't want you to talk to me, I just need some money. So give people money. Is that the answer? Is money the answer?
What, give them money to work with them?
No. So some people say, listen, I don't want to listen to your speech. I'm trying to make money.
Oh, so trying to get money? But why don't just get a job? Wouldn't getting a job be the way to get money? Sometimes you can go back to, like I always say, you can go back to school, man. You can go get your education. You can take up a trade, right? Like I said, I dropped out of school. You know what I'm saying? But I went and got a trade. I had to go back to trucking school. I had to go there for 3 or 4 weeks to trucking school and go back to school. Like that's what I was saying, going back to school, I went and got a trade. So there's no excuse. Like, people try to make excuses, man. There is no excuse. Like, I want to cut out all the excuses that people make, because here I am, lost my dad at 5, mom at 9, and was on the street doing drugs and selling drugs in and out of jail, and dropped out of high school and prison twice. and still was able to become successful here with 3 companies: a trucking company, a mentor, a motivational speaker, an author. So that there's no excuse, man. There's no excuse. You still can become successful after all that you've been through. No matter what you've been through, you still can become successful. Go pick up a trade. Go get a job. Get back in school. Whatever you got to do.
I think that there's people who've been in jail who feel like their life is over because they have felonies, and they don't think that they can have the life that you have because they have felonies. What would you say to them tonight?
I would tell them tonight, man, listen, if I can do it, you can do it, bro. I got felonies. I got a whole bunch of felonies. So, I mean, what make me different from you? God didn't place nothing special inside of me that he didn't put in you. He loved all us the same. He made all the same. I would say, man, you just got to get up, stop making excuses, get out there, fill out them applications. I filled out over 100 and something applications.
Wow.
Everybody was turning me down to get a trucking job. I had to went to school and everything. I was filling out applications, filled out over 100 and something applications. Everybody was turning me down because they said I had felonies. Some were saying your felony got to be 5 years old. Some were saying 7. Some were saying indefinitely, if you got felonies, we couldn't hire you. So just imagine filling out 100 applications, how discouraging that is, how discouraged you would be. But I didn't let that stop me. I kept trusting and believing in God. And I'm telling you, man, something gonna open up. You got to just keep knocking at them doors. You can do it. I don't care what you done been through. Because like I said, if I was able to do it after all I've been through, you can do it. I got felonies. And I did.
Right. I respect that. And then you also mentioned you were married. Can you talk about the benefits of being a married man? How do you feel about being married?
Oh man, it's a lot of benefits. I feel about being married. For one, being married, it definitely keep you out of trouble, and some things that I can't do, because of my record that still holds over your head. Because once you get in trouble, man, you have a record sometimes that follow you. God might forgive you, and God might forgive you, but a lot of people won't forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things that I can't do, my wife can do for us. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it's a good thing, and 2 heads are better than one. Working by yourself is kind of hard, but when you got 2 people that's working together to help you accomplish that goal, it make things a lot easier.
Absolutely.
So it's a blessing, man, and it keep you from sin, and it keep you from out there sleeping around and all that right there, because you got that one wife, and you legal in the sight of God. You can do what you want to do with that wife, and you ain't got to be out there doing all kind of other stuff and going to hell behind it, and catching AIDS and all kind of other stuff.
Much respect to all the women out there in the world who do the best that they can to help the whole community thrive and succeed. There's women all around the world. They wake up, they do the best they can throughout the day, and because of their efforts, we can go out there and succeed as well. Whether you just a man growing up or you've been to prison and you coming home, it's always a woman somewhere in there who is a huge piece of the success story. And so I want to respect every single woman in our community out there who is playing a role in the life of her family. Hey, Ken, I got 3 questions for you. Unfortunately, we're rounding third base right now, but I've had a great discussion from you. First is, what is survival to you?
Survival to me is life, man. Being able to take care of yourself through the difficult times, whatever you face in life, man. Being able to get over it, to get past it, and stay in that word. Just doing what you got to do to survive, man. Even if it's working a 9 to 5, getting married, taking care of your family. That's survival to me.
What is success to you?
Success is being able to achieve anything that you set out to do, anything that you put your mind to, and you achieve it. That's success. If I say I want to get married, and I find me a wife, if you're a female, you find you a husband, you get married, you are successful because you completed what you said that you wanted to do. A lot of people think success is all about money. No, success ain't all about money, because it's people that have money that ain't happy. So as long as you complete what you set out to do, you are successful.
And what is greatness to you?
Greatness is being able to achieve the beyond. You know what I'm saying? To do something great, do something to where you can change somebody else's life. Like somebody can look at you and they can see that you are a beacon of hope, and you can be able to change somebody's life, man, from negative to positive, to be able to lead them in the right way, or lead them.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Kent Osborne today. I want you to go to his website and find him. I want you to go to Amazon.com or even his website and find his